Kia ora te whānau, a iu karati koa, Andrew Doubleday aho. Today we're looking at the Gospel for Sunday the 16th of March 2025. It's Luke chapter 13 verses 31 through to 35. At that very hour some Pharisees came and said to Jesus, "Get away from here, for Herod wants to kill you." He said to them, "Go and tell that fox for me. Listen, I'm casting out demons and performing cures today and tomorrow, and on the third day I finish my work. Yet today, tomorrow, and the next day I must be on my way, because it's impossible for a prophet to be killed outside of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often have I desired to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you are not willing. See, your house is left to you. And I tell you, you will not see me until the time comes when you say, 'Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord.'" Some decades ago I read a trilogy on the life of Merlin by Mary Stewart. It was a very good read, in my opinion anyway. The first book was The Crystal Cave, the second The Hollow Hills, and the third one The Last Enchantment. And it traces the life of Merlin, and from a small boy. And I guess today he might be diagnosed as being somewhere on the autistic spectrum. He was unusual child, not terribly well coordinated, I don't think, and yet had a sense of destiny about him. And very early on he has a vision in this cave of his own death. He has a vision of himself as a very old man, trapped in this cave, unable to get out, with a rock slide having blocked the entrance. And this has a profound effect on him throughout his life, because it instills in him a measure of courage. Because whatever happens, he has this sense of knowing how and where he will likely be dying. And whatever situation he finds himself, no matter how fraught, no matter how dangerous, he knows that he's not going to die here today. And he doesn't. He doesn't. It seems to me that Jesus is in a similar position. We've got the Pharisees coming to him. They want him gone out of their territory. This is in Galilee. This is in the territory where Herod Antipas is king. He's the ruler. And so they create this story, "Get away from here because Herod wants to kill you." I'm not so sure that's true, because as you look further in through the Gospels and look at the occurrences, you discover that Herod wanted to see him. He wanted to see Jesus perform some sort of miracle. I think probably the picture that's presented by Jesus Christ Superstar is closer to the truth than what the Pharisees here are saying. But it may be that they're saying, well, everybody says, everybody knows that Herod wants to do this, except there seems to be very little external evidence that this is in fact the case. The truth is that Jesus is a nuisance. The truth is that what Jesus is doing and is saying is unsettling for them and their grip on power. And they just want Jesus gone. Jesus, though, it seems to me anyway, almost treats this as a joke. He just pushes back. I could imagine him laughing. And he's basically saying, actually, I've got work to do. I've got a call, I've got a mission, and I'm going to see it through. I'm marching not to your drumbeat, but to the drumbeat of the one who has called me. And he says, I've got to do that today, tomorrow, the next day. He says, I'll be here and I'll move on when I'm good and ready. Because the truth is that prophets only die, only get stoned, only get put to death in Jerusalem. Jerusalem. And there's a sense of him saying, I'm not in the crystal cave. I'm not there. I'm out and about, and I'm not yet that person. So it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You kind of get the illusion, don't you? So, and if it stopped there, you'd think, okay, but it doesn't. He goes on with this amazing riff about Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. See, your house is left to you, or as most translations put it, your house is left to you desolate. And what he's saying to them is that you're in serious trouble. You just don't know it. You don't realize the precariousness of your situation. And Jesus' heart breaks for them. Jesus yearns for Jerusalem, for its people. He wants to protect them. He wants to draw them. He wants to be able to set them in a safe place, in a good place, in a life-giving place. And he says, but you're not willing. You're not willing. He knows what they want to do to him. He knows that when he goes there, the religious leaders are all set to take him. They want him out of the way. Ultimately, they'll want and they will put him to death. Jesus knows this is all that awaits him as he heads to Jerusalem. And yet, at a personal level, that doesn't bother him. What he's concerned for is the people of Jerusalem itself. What he's concerned for is those people that already hate him. What he's concerned for is these people at Jerusalem who believe in their own safety and sanctity, who are committed to the idea of Jewish exceptionalism, who believe that they have an exclusive handle on God and God's way, and that everything's going to be fine. And Jesus knows it's not. He knows that their arrogance, their hubris, their unwillingness to face the reality of their situation is going to lead to disaster. Their misplaced confidence in who they are and what they have is ultimately going to destroy them. And his heart breaks for them. Breaks for them in their foolishness. Breaks for them in their blindness. Breaks for them in their inability to see what is so obvious to him, but eludes them. It strikes me that there's something here at the very heart of the gospel, is that Jesus would reach toward even those who hate him the most desperately in love. See their healing, see their wholeness, see the possibilities of new beginnings for them. I've been thinking about this kind of stuff a bit lately as I've just recognised the precariousness of the world at the moment. With all that's happening under the nose of the new American president and the amount of polarisation this has created even within the church, where as brothers and sisters we come and find ourselves on opposing sides. And here's Jesus, he's not taking sides. His yearning is for them. His yearning is for their wholeness, for their well-being. His yearning is that they might receive love and be able to step away from that which is going to destroy them. There's something in this for me, I know that. because I find myself getting caught up. I found myself getting stirred up. I find myself at odds with certain family members, people whom I love deeply, and yet getting caught up in the middle of all the politics and the back and forth and I'm right, you're wrong kind of stuff. And here's Jesus driving right through the middle of it, saying, actually, it's the people who are important. It's the ones who are getting caught up in all of this who really, in the end, in the words of Jonah, don't know their right hand from their left. And so here we are, early in Lent. Here we are facing a whole lot of uncertainty. And here we have Jesus modelling a yearning for people, modelling a desire for their restoration, modelling a willingness to put whatever they might want to do to him aside in his desire that they might be made whole. What might the world look like if all of us as the church followed that particular model? If we had that same kind of love for people that we find ourselves at odds with, that same desire to draw them in as a mother hen draws its chickens, its children under its wings. If we had that same commitment to the people that want to do us ill and who do not agree with us, what might the church and the future of our nations look like? I find it really challenging because it's easy to say, but not that easy to do. Amen. God bless you.